I'm Jessie Sale, Senior Journalist at SBC News, and I'm now joined by Tim Kennedy, the VP of Sales Europe at SuzoHapp. Thank you so much for joining, Tim. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. How are you doing today?
Very good. It's very warm, so I'm having a lovely day.
Yeah.
Firstly, could you just give us a brief explanation of what SuzoHapp is for those who don't know, and also what you do at the company?
Sure, yeah. So SuzoHapp traditionally was a supplier of components to the gaming and sports betting world, but recently we've introduced our own range of solutions, including sports betting terminals. And I am essentially in charge of European sales.
Wonderful. So let's get straight into it. With online and mobile betting surging ahead, what opportunities still remain in European retail sports betting?
Yeah, I mean, retail still is very relevant today. It's a significant part of people's gambling and sports betting habits. And in fact, there's a large, extensive network of shops and venues right across Europe. It remains very relevant in a lot of sports betting operators, and still plenty of opportunities for expansion and new opportunities.
So how do you think the retail sector can better embrace innovation to keep itself up to date and relevant? What does SuzoHapp bring to the table in this regard? And can you also give us a breakdown of the specific innovations that you have been working on?
Sure, yeah. So I think there was a period not so long ago where retail and online sports betting were kind of seen as competitors. I think quite a number of operators now are seeing that they can operate in a complementary fashion. So I think that's the way that a modern business can approach the market. Certain cohorts like to bet in retail, certain cohorts like to bet online, and there's some people in the middle that, depending on how they're feeling or the time of day or whether they want to bet in a more relaxed environment, might want to do it face to face in retail. But none of those are kind of detract or competitive. They can be complementary. From an innovation point of view, there's a number of things that can really help retail. So one is adopting, sort of the ubiquity of online. So certainly omnichannel payments, which is one thing that we've been developing. So allows all the convenience of payments that you get online to be accessible in a retail environment. And secondly, all of the player protections. So there's a number of facial recognition products that we have developed that allows operators to be fully compliant with the latest laws, but provide the protection that the player needs.
So following on from that, how do you believe SuzoHapp's products and solutions have made an impact on the European high street?
Yeah, so for more than 15 years, we've been supplying sports betting terminal manufacturers. So as operators rolled out self-service betting terminals, SuzoHapp technology has been embedded in those. We have taken that, many steps further now with our own sports betting ecosystem, and we offer a wide range of products. So whatever the kind of opportunity that an operator has, whether that's in payment systems or omnichannel solutions for retail and integrating to online, SuzoHapp can provide a solution.
And from SuzoHapp's experience, how well has European retail recovered from the pandemic, and how can it keep up momentum on this bounce back?
Yeah, I think it has recovered very well. I think, during COVID, obviously, more or less 100% of all retail outlets had to close down through regulation. And I think the bounce back has been pretty incredible right across the board. I think there's still opportunities for retailers to go further. And in fact, some countries are more advanced in offering solutions for in-play betting in a retail environment. Particularly Germany is very, very far advanced down that road. I think other countries are a bit further behind, so that still presents an opportunity for retailers to meet the needs of players more completely.
Obviously, you've mentioned Germany, but let's go into what European markets has SuzoHapp seen the most success for retail innovations, and how can these developments cross borders?
Sure. So I think there's been a lot of innovation in the UK as well. with more immersive experiences. So I know a lot of the large operators have introduced interactive signage for odds, compilation odds, looking up the odds. Various countries are looking at having sports betting in a lounge environment. So somebody could be watching the big game in front of a large video wall, and you could be sat around a table placing a casual sports bet. So along the lines of a sort of typical American sports fan model, rather than being a dyed-in-the-wool sports bettor. And I think that sort of innovation, we could learn a lot from the US.
Are there any further lessons that European retail operators can learn from emerging innovations in the US market?
Yeah, I think it's a question of targeting different player cohorts. I think in the US, obviously, a lot of companies started with a big fan base of sports fans, so huge database of sports fans, and the aim is to, within time, introduce them to sports betting products. And I think in European markets, operators heavily rely on traditional sports betting fans. So I think there's lessons to be learned about making products more approachable, more accessible, particularly in retail. And there's some technology to help do that, bringing innovative products. So things like vouchers, which turn betting products into more lottery-style products, could help bridge that gap to entice, sports fans to become sports bettors.
And vice versa, what lessons and experience can European operators take over to the retail scene in the US?
Obviously, in the US, it's all about entertainment. And I think that entertainment element is something that we should not forget, particularly in retail. Retail, the face-to-face element, the entertainment, the razzmatazz, that's all something that the US does very well. And I think we can bring that and roll that out into certain European venues that allow the combination of gaming, sports betting, and probably food and beverage.
And as the company prepares for SBC Barcelona, which is obviously this month, you are both a sponsor and an exhibitor at the event. So what can we expect from SuzoHapp? What have we got to look forward to?
Yeah, so we'll be demonstrating a range of products there. So we have our complete sports betting ecosystem, which is essentially a range of different sports betting terminals that meets most requirements of operators, whether that's over-the-counter betting, traditional self-service betting, or an in-play betting solution. We also have an omnichannel payment solution, which takes payments or bridges the gap between payments across online and retail. And finally, we bring a lottery solution, which, we have some customers that are both in the lottery and sports betting space, and this product helps them automate their retail lottery channels.
Perfect. And also, I've seen that you're speaking on a panel. Can you just discuss what that's about, what you're looking forward to speaking about?
Yeah, so omnichannel is an essential tool in the armory of any operator. And I think, it's recognized that putting the player first, or player centricity, is where omnichannel is headed to.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining. It's a great conversation. It was really insightful. So thank you so much.
Thanks. Great to meet you.